Hello and welcome to this overview of higher politics at Larbert High School. Today we're just going to look at what makes up the course and why, what your pupils can do, or your students can do, in order to get the best grade possible and reach their potential. So the course is split into 3 different sections, Unit 1, Unit 2 and Unit 3, and also includes 2 source questions. There usually would be an assignment worth 27% of the grade, but this has been taken out, meaning the entire assessment will be, according to the current restrictions and guidelines from the SQA, based on an 80-minute exam, a 3-hour exam worth 80 marks in May 2022. Unit 1 on political theory covers ideologies and democracy, and we start with this unit because pupils should already have a prior awareness of all of the concepts we discuss. This includes conservatism, socialism, direct democracy or referendums, and representative democracy or elections. These 4 concepts usually are ones that pupils find very accessible due to the fact that they've already covered material similar to this in lower school and have been made aware about them in their daily lives, especially now that our 16-year-olds and above are able to vote in Scotland and were able to vote this year. From there we move on to Unit 3 because this is considered the easiest unit again because it is incredibly accessible. This covers voting behaviour and campaign methods, 2 concepts that the pupils should have already covered at some point in school and if not are still very easy to understand because essentially it is why people vote, which they all had the opportunity to take part in, and how people can campaign, which there are a lot of resources for online and it's very easy to demonstrate. We also got opportunities to hear from politicians who can give their experiences, which is a really good way to learn. Finally, we cover Unit 2. The reason we leave this to last is because it is the least accessible. This requires a lot of political literacy and covers a lot of concepts that pupils will not have a strong understanding of, including constitutions, the executives of America and the UK, and the legislative department, how laws are passed in both America and the USA, or both America and the UK. Again, these are pretty complicated processes and the language used in some of these documents is hundreds and hundreds of years old, and that's why we leave it to last, because giving pupils a good understanding of essay structure and course content before moving to this section is absolutely vital. This unit also requires a constant comparison between the British and American political system, and for that reason we will do an introduction into the American political system to make sure all pupils have an awareness. The first source question is the comparison question, which is worth 8 marks, 10% of the overall grade. This asks pupils to identify 3 points of comparison from 2 sources, analyse each point, and then write an overall comparison using evaluative language. This is only 4 paragraphs, 2 marks per paragraph, and it can be done relatively quickly with pupils given 25 minutes to complete it. They follow this with a to what extent question, which is worth 20 marks, a quarter of the overall grade. This gives pupils 6 different sources, or around 6 different sources depending on the question, and asks them to evaluate a statement which can be up to 5 sentences long. Pupils must say how accurate that statement is, pointing out both evidence that supports the statement and evidence that opposes the statement before giving an overall extent to which the statement is accurate. These questions are quite challenging, but for that reason we do a lot of practice, and the best way to prepare pupils for these questions is just to constantly practice the structure and make sure pupils are aware of the expectations. The assignment has been skipped this year, but the exam instead is 3 hours long. Paper 1 is an hour 45 minutes with 3 essays, and paper 2 is an hour 15 minutes with 2 source questions. There's normally about an hour break in between, meaning pupils have time to revise content and prepare themselves for the second half. Overall, higher politics is an excellent progression from modern studies, and it allows pupils an accessible extra higher that builds on previous knowledge, but also has content that's very accessible to those who haven't covered higher modern studies before, because the course is historical in nature. So this means pupils are able to talk about things not just in modern context but historical, including Karl Marx, including the Constitution, the founding of America, the French Revolution. All of these kind of key political moments are all involved, meaning pupils are able to bring their background knowledge and do their own research throughout the course. We've got a Google Classroom page, which is screenshotted here, which contains every bit of material we use in class. So the minute a PowerPoint is used, it is available on Google Classroom. The minute an essay is used, it's available on Google Classroom. We include essay plans and other resources there as well. To build on that, we've got a website, which can be found at this link here, or the pupils have access to that link. So you can get access to that link you can get access to the website from this link, but the pupils already have access, and the website includes past paper questions, essay plans, video lectures, every single PowerPoint, and more resources that can be useful. Again, here's a screenshot. You can see the video here. You can see the description of what conservatism is, and if you look along the top bar, the contents, you can see there's a section on every part of the course, including source questions and essay plans, meaning pupils can be incredibly prepared for the upcoming assessments. There isn't any textbook, but the best kind of resource that the pupils can do is to just constantly engage in conversations about the subject matter. So any kind of political conversations you can have at home, or anything you can give the pupils to bring into school to engage them further is absolutely excellent. Any election experiences you can share, voting experiences, I'm sure would be incredibly useful for the classroom environment. We will have a December assessment, which will assess Unit 1 and Unit 3. And we will have our final assessment in May with a Unit 2 unit assessment in February in between both of those. So there will be plenty of opportunities for the pupils to showcase their ability and prove to me that they are meeting their potential before we get to the final exam in May, and that gives me plenty of opportunities to give them feedback and ensure that they are as prepared as possible for that final assessment. Thank you for listening. If you've got any questions, please feel free to get in touch. My name is Adam Llewellyn. You can get in touch with me via the school quite easily, or if you've got questions that you don't mind your pupils knowing about, feel free to send them in and I will happily give them an answer. Thank you.